it's about urban renewal. And it's both the process and the result of large-scale redevelopment of built environment downtown and in older inner-city neighborhoods. And it's typically on quite a massive scale, like what's going to happen to Kai Tak, what's going to happen to Kwun Tong, what's happening in Sheung Wan is huge, the area under redevelopment. And all these projects are taken by the government, the state, together with state-created semi-public agencies like the government privatized the Urban Renewal Authority, and the government created an NGO, a non-government organization called Housing Society in the 1960s that it was a government-owned NGO. So, and also through public-private partnerships like URA inviting developers to work with them. But in fact, this whole idea of urban renewal has changed name many times. Like in Hong Kong, the URA before was called Land Development Corporation, Land Development Company. Now it has got a more fancy name, right? Urban Renewal Authority, and it talks about urban regeneration. But in fact, there is no real theory about regeneration. Right? In the 50s, it's called reconstruction. In the 60s, it's called revitalization. In the 70s, it's called renewal. In the 80s, it's called redevelopment. And now it's called regeneration. But all means the same. Right? In practice, it's tearing down old buildings, replacing them by high-rise. And now, by regeneration, it means keeping the face, like the facade, like the Shanghai line. So they use different themes to promote real estate value. Giving a pretty name, a more cultural, technical name to this same process, and you call it something new, the regeneration. So Cyberport is one, the Science Park is one, the West Kowloon Cultural District, the Kai Tak development plan, they are all part of this process. Basically, the theory, the attitude, the form, they do things haven't changed, they just changed the packaging. So then this is a more and more accelerated process. So what we see is urban regeneration simply means generalization of gentrification in the urban landscape. So it's right from the start, having all these culture-led urban redevelopment, creating all these ideas of having an artist village, artist community in a rundown district, promoting that as an image of the district. It's always more than about housing and more than about art. It's an integration of a lot of things together, integrating housing with shopping, restaurants, cultural facilities, open space, employment opportunities. And the whole new complex of recreation, consumption, production, pleasure, and residence are now put back together again in the city center. So, the examples. This week's reading, in the required reading, is the book written by Richard Lloyd called Neo-Bohemia, Art and Commerce in the Post-Industrial City. And in your supplementary reading is the godmother of this whole field of studies, Sharon Stupin's book, Loft Living, Culture and Capital in Urban Change, written in 1982 about the Soho area in New York. And what we are reading today is about the Wicker Park area in Chicago, in Neo-Bohemia. Why I choose the newer one as the required reading? Because it looks more like situations in Hong Kong. It's more recent. But actually, Sharon Stupin's work is absolutely fantastic to read. Right? And Richard Lloyd's work as well. Very, very detailed and thick in description, in ethnographical detail.